Welcome to us and Unifound and today's webinar about consignment collaboration. Presenting today is my colleague Johan Hellman from Professional Services and Per Larsson, who is product owner. My name is Linn Bergqvist and I am from the marketing department and I will moderate the webinar. During the webinar, we will leave a little time for answering questions live. So if you have any questions during the webinar, you're very much welcome to ask them in the chat function. And the webinar is also recorded so that you, after the webinar, will receive an email with a link to the recording so that you, if you want to, can watch it again later. So let's go ahead. Welcome, Johan.
Thank you, Linn. So my name is Johan Hellman, as said, and I'm starting out here with the view of our Unifound Enterprise offering. This picture here shows all the modules in our offering, and if you want to know more about this, you can visit our homepage. There's also a short film on the homepage and on YouTube where you can get a quick explanation of all the modules. But today we will focus on one, which is called Network. And specifically on the functionality we call Consignment Collaboration. So the agenda for this webinar, I will start out by explaining the functionality a bit, how it's set up and what you need to think about when you set it up. Then I will show you in the system what it can look like, how it works, and then I will summarize the functionality, and we will also have time to answer some questions, as said. So let's dive in. The first thing you need to do when you work about the consignment collaboration is to think about the process. This is about the shipping process, and you need to establish what kind of activities you want to support with the functionality. This is an example here which I set up and I will use in the demo today. So I'm thinking that I will start by creating the shipment. We'll do this with an integration. Then I will have a packing activity. So my shipping warehouse will have to pack the goods and make it ready for shipment. And I want them to indicate when the goods is ready for shipment. And when the goods is ready, I want an automatic notification to go to a partner that I have that is handling my documents. So I need to prepare some transport documents, and I want to give this partner the possibility to do that. When that is done, I want to trigger my main carriage. I want to inform the transport company that now the goods and the document is all ready, and that they should pick it up. And the main carriage then will work as any standard transport service in the Unifound platform. So we will still have the normal EDI communication when booking and the normal status flow. This is something that is happening on top of that. And then, last but not least, I want the receiver to actually inspect the goods and to indicate if the goods arrived in good condition or not, if there is damage. And I want them to be able to report that damage if it happens. And to monitoring all of it, I also want to have a central control tower view, which can give me an overview of the process. So this is the first step, defining the process. And of course, the process can be very different from this. This is just an example, but keep this in mind now when we go forward. Next step is to think about the rules. This is very flexible. How the rules are being set up, but this is one example. So the shipper warehouse, they will access our system through the web portal to the normal login. So they will be a logged in user, and they will be able to set a status that we call ready for shipment on each consignment. The next role will be document admin or administrator, and they will log in through a link that they will receive via an email. So they will not have any account that they log in, they will just get a link. And they will be able to attach documents and also to indicate that the documents are ready. Next one is the main carriage service. And as I said before, this could basically be any transport product that we have in the system. But in addition to the normal communication with the carrier, we will also send them an email with a link which will enable them to confirm the pickup and to give us some extra information that we want. In this case, we want them to give us the estimated time of departure and also some details about the driver. The receiver, as I mentioned before, should be able to confirm that the goods has arrived, and we will use a QR code function for that. So there will be a QR code on the document that they can scan with the smartphone and the smartphone app. And using the smartphone, they can then set a status. They can confirm that the goods they have received it in good condition, or they can report the damage if that happens. And the fifth role then would be the central control tower, which will also be a logged-in user in the portal, and they can see all the statuses. They can also set all the statuses, and they will have filters to help them monitor the flow. So let's look at this now in reality. The first step, as I mentioned, was to create the actual consignment. And I'm doing this now via integration, but actually I don't have an integration, so I have a user that I call integration, but it's basically the same thing. So consignment will be created. And the way the consignment is created, it doesn't matter for the functionality. So you can use any method that you would use for other consignments. You can do it via fully automatic integrations, semi-automatic integrations, or you can do it manually through the user interface. And that's what you're looking at right now. I have now pre-populated all the information about the consignment. All I need to add is the weight. Let's say it's 25 kilos. And then I can save. And so far, this is just normal functionality. So now I have created a consignment. So let's close this. And now we're done with the first step here. So we have created a consignment. Now I will log in as the shipper warehouse. And they will have something called control tower view and the preset filter that shows them everything that does not have the status ready for shipment. So that means everything that they have not yet confirmed is ready. So if I search now, you see I will find the consignment I just made. And of course, in the bigger flow, there would be a longer list, and you would also be able to add more search parameters if you want to filter by destination or something else. In this view, it's actually also possible for the warehouse to adjust the consignment. Maybe you want to change the weight or something else that may be wrong or incomplete. But for me, everything is fine, and I have now actually also packed the goods, so I'm ready to confirm that it's ready for shipment. So I open this view, and this is now adapted to this role. So this is what it looks like when the shipper warehouse opens it. I only have one status here, because that's what I wanted. I could have many, but I defined it to be one, ready for shipment. I can type something. It's all okay. Maybe I want to specify where the goods can be found. Let's say it's stock 1. Maybe I want to tell them who I am. Now I report the status. This now actually generates a status event, just as any other status in the Unifound system. So it means that this kind of status and the status that we normally receive from a carrier are treated in the same way and can be shown in the same way. Okay, the warehouse is done. So you may have noticed now I received an email. So if I go to my inbox, I have a new email. This is actually sent now to me, but in a real setup, it should be sent to somebody handling the documents. The content of the file can be fully adapted. You can use HTML code to define a very nice looking email if you like. But it's a link basically. So this is a trigger now for the document party to do their job. So they will arrive on the same page, but with a different content. And they now have the attach functionality. So I have prepared a transport document course, such document can look in very many different ways. It can be a customs declaration you want to attach. It can be something related to dangerous goods, certificate of origin, or an invoice. Whatever you need. All I have to do here is drag and drop this file. It's now attached. You can see it's been attached. And I will now confirm this was done. I can sign with my name. Now you can see that we are building on the status flow here. So now we also have the documents ready. So we are moving the process. And every time something's happening, we also have other events being triggered to move the process along. I'll close this. And if I go back now to the overview, we remember we have the documents, packing documents, and now we want to pick up the goods. Again, I set up an email rule. This time we generated an email to our carrier telling them that this is the consignment, and then they will use this link to go to their version of this page. Now we want to know when they will pick up. So they will come tomorrow, and they will come 10 o'clock. It will be Fred. And his phone number is 12345. You can also add other types of information. Maybe you want to have the registration number of the truck or the trailer for gate entrance, something similar. So update this. Again, I set the status. Now we have confirmed the main carriage. Now we are sure that the goods will be collected. It's ready to be collected, and not all the documents are in order. You can also see this clearly here in the status flow. What happens next is then the normal flow on any transport. So the transport company will collect, and they will produce the shipment. They will move the goods, and they will generate status that we will capture and show in the system the normal way. And then in the end, the goods will arrive to the receiver. And as I mentioned before, we would add, or there is actually added a QR code on the document that can be scanned with a smartphone and any standard QR code app. But just to make it more visible here on the webinar, I have a link here, and the link is the same as what would be in the QR code. So this is what would happen if you open the QR code, and I can just show you what it looks like from a smartphone. The page is adaptive, which means it will adapt itself to the format of the smartphone. And you have possibility here to set the status and to add documents. And let's say now we have a problem. Maybe the parcel that we received, maybe it looks like this. We are not very happy about this kind of delivery, so we want to report it as a damage. So I can attach this picture. And actually what I would do if I was really on a smartphone, I would use the camera of the smartphone to actually take a photo, and the photo would then automatically be attached here. And then I will also select the status here, which is arrive with a damage. I can write something. I'm not very happy, so now I reported that the goods was damaged, and I even attached a photo. Okay, so the last part now is the central overview. So let's log in as a central control tower user. This will be somebody typically monitoring or controlling the total flow. And probably they are quite interested in exceptions, so they might even have a filter already set up that shows them only consignment with exceptions. So here you can see that actually we have 2 consignments has arrived with the damage. They have this kind of status which is classified as an exception. And if you click on the attachment, you can see the picture of the damaged goods. So now it's very easy for the central control tower guys to pick it up and to start maybe a claims process towards the carriers. Maybe you also need to trigger a new consignment, send new goods to your customer. Okay. So, in order to summarize this, Consignment Collaboration functionality, it works with any transport service that we have in the Uniform platform. This is something you can use to complement what you already have in terms of status and communication with the carrier. But you don't have to limit yourself only to communicate with the carrier. You can, as you saw, you can also communicate with basically any other party involved in your shipment. The roles and the statuses are very configurable. You can basically have any status you can think about, and you can have as many roles as you think makes sense. And as I showed you, you can also have the statuses to drive the progress and to involve other parts of the parties in the process. You can then attach documents and photos to the consignment. There's also functionality around price. I didn't show you, but it's also possible to add some price details to the consignment. And last but not least, you can also use the status that is being reported to trigger outgoing messages. You saw some examples of this, like the emails that were being sent. You can use any status to trigger such an email.
Is there anything else I should mention here, Johan, or are we all set?
I think so. We're looking forward to your questions and to tell you more in person. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for listening and have a nice afternoon.